Binges, welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network. My name is Randy, and I've got a dope-ass group of co-hosts with me today. My first co-host is Miss Courtney Scott Wright. Courtney, say what's up to the people, man.
Hello, hello.
And my next co-host is Rakai. Man, let the people know who you are, sir.
Hello, Governor.
And my last co-host is Chuck. Chuck, man, let the people know who you are, son.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, that's okay. I like it. I like it. Never heard
We're in
that
the
one
monsterverse today, you guys.
Cool. And we are the BingeWorthy podcast. The premise of our show is that we will binge watch an entire series to let you know if you should. And tonight we are binge watching Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters. The premise is in 2015, 1 year after the reemergence of Godzilla, half siblings Kate and Kentaro investigate their missing father's connection to Monarch, a covert organization monitoring giant monsters known as Titans. At the beginning of our show, we will rate it, then we will engage in conversation, and we will re-rate it at the end of the show. So therefore, I'm going to lean on my technical director to let me know. Rodney, how did everybody rate Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters? And I don't see it.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, I got it. All right, looks like we got across the board, so 4 meals. That made this real easy. All right, so everybody gave it a full meal. Let's see how this is going to play out. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about this show in the terms of a few categories. We're going to talk about the writing, the visual effects, and the acting. So, I'm going to start. This is a show. It's about kaiju, Godzilla, monsters, those types of things. So let's engage in conversation, those specific questions. Let's talk about the kaiju starting off. So I'm assuming everybody here is a Godzilla fan, that genre. So let's start with you, Chuck. Just saying, is this something that fans of this genre, is this series, fans of this genre would enjoy?
I think so. At first, I came in with the preconception to hate this.
Oh,
because it was going to be about humans, and I don't care about Monarch or Apex. I just want big monsters punching each other in the face.
I agree.
That's what I wanted.
I agree. Nope, I agree.
I wanted eight episodes of monsters punching each other in the face and humans dying. I saw Godzilla -1. And I was like, and I didn't get that. And I got a really good human story. And I said, am I getting soft in my old age? Am I getting soft? And then when I saw the kaiju and how they used them in this, I thought it was perfect.
Okay.
It's crazy that I think that.
Cool. What do you guys think? Courtney, Rikai, what do you guys think? How'd you feel about the kaiju in this season, in this series?
You want to start, Rikai?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. I kind of had the same sentiment as Chuck. Not that I would hate it, but being that the last couple entries have not wowed me, have not knocked my socks off, I was like, this is probably not going to be worth my time. For real, but I'm interested because I am a huge Godzilla fan. This for the new MonsterVerse, which is in no way, shape, or form tied to the Toho universe, which is the classic Godzilla monster movies from back in the day. This moved the needle. I did want basically the old video game Rampage. Monsters just out here beating the hell out of each other. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like every show, give me a couple of different monsters and let's get it on. But I mean, you still have to weave something into that's watchable. Because almost they did that with King of the Monsters and that was not good. So with this, I like the fact that the way that they use the kaiju, the way that they use the monsters was more to move the story along and not as a crutch to lean on and let that in the CGI whatever do all this work. It was a smart story, character piece. Did two different time frames. And I guess when we get into the actors and some of the acting and stuff like that, I'll dip into that. But I thought I enjoy this for what it was. It moved the needle for me, and it presents a very nice opportunity to go back in here and do some storytelling and fill in some gaps.
Okay. All right, Courtney, what about you, man? Ma'am, how'd you feel about the kaiju?
Okay, so first question before I tell you how I felt about him. Was that last kaiju that Godzilla battled, was that supposed to be Mothra?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No,
That helps.
that was the one that they found when they first got to that when they went on that little ship, the one that was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I just want to make sure it wasn't supposed to be
No.
Mothra.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Because Mothra was my favorite, and I was like, this is a bootleg ass Mothra, then we're gonna have some problems.
No.
But in terms of the kaiju, I thought that they were really formidable. I really liked what they how they crafted them for the small screen so that they didn't look like weak, and they were very menacing, and they helped create this air of authentic fear, you know, that everybody, what they were going through, it was reasonable to believe that you would be afraid, you know. And so I really thought that these kaiju, it was really exciting for me. I thought that in terms of like a television show, like this was the best that I've seen of the actual creature feature, you know what I mean? Like one of my favorite moments, I had three favorite moments with the kaiju. The first was her on the bridge when she was really seeing the scale of Godzilla from her perspective. That I'd never really seen it, like looking up at Godzilla being like this little small human. I loved the camera detail and giving us the opportunity to really kind of like almost feel it for ourselves. I really liked them in the ice, the kaiju in the snow, and like how he was just like freezing people and devouring them. Which one?
Frostmark.
Frostbark.
Yeah,
Frostbark. Okay, didn't know his
Bark.
name, but he was dope. And
He was dope.
and the third scene was when we lose grandma. I can't think of her. Keiko?
Yeah,
Keiko. Yeah. So when we lost her, and like when those pods were being born, and the fact that they snaked up and worked together to take her down, like that was dope. I really love the way that they crafted that and built the suspense around the loss of her. I thought the kaijus were the of the strong benefit side of me giving it a full meal. The other problems that I had, that they were like, we'll get into those, like the which is the only reason I didn't give it binge worthy, which, and I reserve the right to be talked into binge worthy, but I thought the kaiju were really solid, really good.
So, Courtney, you talked about camera angles and look like Chuck. I know CGI. I know all those things. That's right in your virtual production, because that's what you said about Willow. Virtual production.
Don't bring that up, Randy.
Which was a Marvel virtual production.
So, since this is right in your wheelhouse, what you think about like the look and the virtual production?
I thought it was good. I thought it was decent. I think the best scene was G-Day in San Francisco. And actually, what's her name going through her day? Kate going through her day, and the bus scene. The bus scenes what stood out the most to me, because I was like, that would fuck me up too. Excuse my French. That would mess me up real bad. She skates out the back with a couple of kids, and the rest of them plummet to their death. And Godzilla, like, what you expect from me? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right, I'm Godzilla.
I'm out here working.
Did you all like what do you think about the fight scenes between the various kaiju? Did it help tell a story? Centel always talks about fight scenes and action scenes tell a story. Like, what did you think about the fight scenes that we get?
Well, here the one thing that I realized about this episode, I mean this entire series before it started, was I was like, okay, just pulling myself out of the story. I was like, okay, from a technical side, listen, we gonna have to do something with this budget. Like, there's only so much you can do to not make this look like a long, series full of Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
so how can we make this look real and believable and really bring the audience into the action as they see it? Um, I thought that using clips and footage that they already have from the 2014 movie was smart.
Mhm.
And then you can build on that. Uh, Courtney is absolutely right. That scene on the bridge, I don't know if it was the Golden Gate Bridge, but the bridge in San Francisco, to show the scale and how small Kate was, and looking up at Godzilla while it attacked the whole bus scene. Listen, I I know it sounds awful, and I almost hate I'm getting ready to say this, but I cheered when the bus went over.
Mhm.
Not
Well,
because
it
they
was
killed,
realistic.
not because they killed kids, but exactly that it was realistic. That
Yeah.
not only the fact that how her day had been going, so her new boo, who what I'm saying, was trying to give her the key to the place, and what I'm saying, they got on separate buses or whatever. Um,
Purposely
when
got on
it
separate
hit,
buses.
yeah,
Well,
because
Kate, yeah, Kate chose her,
she
chose
was,
the bus.
yeah, yeah, but not they got on purposely get on second buses because she had just rolled out of bed with another chick. Like
Exactly. She
Kate was
cheated.
on,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Kate was like her daddy. Uh,
Good
uh,
call. Good call back.
but the fact that she jumped out the back of the bus, it starts teetering up. She gets like two or three kids out the back, and then the whole bus goes over, and you see like the kids reaching, and I was like, we killing kids on here? Oh, this is a real monster movie. Like, oh, we about that life on this. Like,
Mhm.
oh my God. Like, I was like, okay, we doing it for real. Um, I knew that they had to show like at least one kaiju every episode, one Titan every episode or whatever. But the way they kind of spaced it out, did it was very smart. I loved the Frostvark, super dope. I hated them little bugs, whatever they was, the Titan bugs that took down Keiko, and just the whole bug. Listen, I don't mean no like bugs. I'm in here spraying, fantastic raid, 409. Listen, get them bugs out of here. But
How about the warthog one?
Yeah,
uh,
that came for her and
that
her grandmother saved her. That was just kind of man. But he was
that was
cool.
that was that was interesting, and the
That's
whole
cool.
explanation behind that particular place was super interesting. Like,
I got the name of the warthog one. Bramble boar.
Is that actually
That's
the
his actual
name?
name?
Bramble boar.
Bramble
Bramble
boar.
boar.
Bramble boar. Yeah, it's a
Bramble
Okay,
boar.
boar.
Have we ever
Okay.
sure.
seen
Bramble.
that one in any sort of like
That's the
iterations
first
or?
time I've seen it.
No, no.
Okay.
Here's the thing that they did that was so special about this series, though, is they introduced all new Titans. In King of the Monsters, we got a lot, but they pulled a lot from classic Toho series. You got your Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah. So you got some classic monsters. Frostvark, Bramble Boar, whatever that little
Fresh
monster
monster.
was, the little bug monster took down Keiko, whatever the little bug
Skull
monster
crawler.
when they went back to Kazakhstan and blew it up, and then May, Kate, and Lee all fell into the hole, whatever that thing is called. Like
Endopede.
the one that was on the ship,
Are
the
you
one that was
googling this
flying
shit?
in the
'Cause
air.
you on fire,
Yeah,
fam.
I
yeah,
know, right? You're just coming out with the
I'm
name.
like, damn.
Right? He already had
yeah.
him ready to go.
He didn't even tell us that he was secretly
Right.
a
I was like,
a
damn.
P.
I know.
He
Secretly
was a
a
PA on the
Godzilla
show.
file.
Right. Right.
Um,
I'm part of Monarch. Y'all just didn't know
listen,
that.
I
Yeah,
guess you got a tattoo and everything.
Yeah, I got
he's
family
he
in
But
Japan
he
still and
he kept taking
everything.
Kurt
listen,
Well,
Russell's
that I
coffee every
definitely
day.
believe. That
yeah.
yeah.
But I had a thought. There was something that really moved me about this series that was the main thing. And I think mentioning all of these kaiju, mentioning all of them just kind of enhanced what I'm about to say in terms of this is the first time, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys know more about the Godzilla universe than I do, but this is the first time that they have created a reason as to why Godzilla was doing this, in terms of like he's trying to protect the balance between the two worlds. Like that was something that was a new to me.
Yeah, he's not just a monster. He's
Yeah.
actually thinking, and that feeds into the MonsterVerse story of, you know, there can only be one master, and he's like, I am the apex of all the monsters, and it plays into what the movies were doing, right? Like the Godzilla monster, King of Monsters, where all the monsters are drawn together and they have to fight each other. It played into that, where he's like, look, I'm whooping everybody's ass. Ain't nobody passing between both worlds. I'm the king of both.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, your point is right, Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
That was alleged
Mm-hmm.
in King of Monsters, but being that uh, Godzilla was the alpha, and everyone kind of marched to his tune, and it was to keep, like you said, the balance between, surface Earth and the hollow Earth, or what have you. And King Ghidorah, the Hydra, pretty much upset that balance because he wasn't even from her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then they talked about that in Godzilla versus Kong, um, that the balance was upset, and what was needed to set the balance right was Godzilla, because there was things out here worse than Godzilla, which is easy to see how Godzilla's always been just a monster, but to give that monster purpose that is bigger than all of us was something that they alleged in the movies. But the way they went about explaining it, and explaining it over time, and even calling back to some of those classic scenes, like when they blew him up, when they hit him with the nuclear bomb on Bikini Atoll, that has been part of Godzilla lore since day one. And so to kind of weave that in there and make it, this covert military mission, and that explained how he went from one size to getting so much larger. Um, they did an excellent job on this
Mm-hmm.
series to move this along. Even when it came down to the finale, the way they moved it, and the way I looked at this like the Clone Wars, where you took a specific period in time and you were able to tell the story that's just in this period of time here, and it can explain a whole lot that's going on here, but you don't. 'Cause my first thought was, they're going to, when they fell down the hole, I said, okay, when they get back out, they're going to come back out in modern times. That way they don't have to even explain King of Monsters. They don't even have to explain Godzilla versus King Kong. They don't have to explain none of that, because they've been in that hole so long. Once they get back into our Earth or whatever, all that's already happened. But they didn't do that, which actually surprised me. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, oh, go ahead, Chuck.
So something else they did, the piggyback on what Kai said was interesting. Godzilla -1 came out, and it plays into this series. Like the U.S. military came onto the seas of Japan to blow him up with an atomic bomb. In -1, they actually stopped Godzilla with a jet. And what made Godzilla stand out in -1 is it explained why he had radiation powers, and he could blow radiation out his mouth and he not die, but he would burn his own skin and whatnot. And it explained why Godzilla comes back after you destroy him, because Godzilla has regenerative powers. So
Okay.
you can destroy him. You don't kill all the cells of Godzilla, he regenerates.
Okay.
So it explains why he comes back, and he comes back different every time.
Okay, that gives us one. All right, so Chuck and Rakai, myself, we talked about, we just wanted to see kaiju or titans fight, but we did have to have a story. So I'm gonna turn to you, Courtney, right now. What'd you think about the quality of the writing for these 10 episodes that we got?
Well, I had, for the most part, I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I loved the flashbacks. I love the use of time travel. That it was a seamless transition. I loved how they created this time loop, like when young, and all I can think of is his son. I don't know I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. But anyway,
in the
Kintaro,
show,
Kintaro,
Lee
no.
Shaw.
Kurt Russell. No, Kurt Russell's son.
Lee Shaw.
Yeah,
Lee
Lee
Shaw.
Shaw.
Okay,
What
so
that
when
was his
young
character in the
Lee,
show.
yeah. So when young Lee went into the hole and came back out 20 years later, like I really loved how they did that, because when the show started and it was in like 2015, I think, I was like, why are we at 2015? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it started.
It was 20.
And right. And then so to see how they're using and playing with time, I thought that that was really cleverly done. And they stuck their own landing in terms of, like, they never really muddied that flashback water. And I loved the use of father and son. Like, I thought that they worked well together, because I hated him in Falcon. Hated him. I was like, I can't stand this guy. But he did such a good job in this story. And I just loved seeing them play this one character. That was such a cool thing. Now, the plot holes that I had from, and please, I look forward to someone clearing this up for me. One of them you can't clear up. The other one, which is the initial scene when we see John Goodman, who is playing Keiko's
Randa.
husband,
Randa.
Randa, who is playing the third part. It never really explained, was he in the hollow world, or was
No.
he in like
No.
regular Earth, and like what happened to him? Like we just never really. Well, let me
It's
finish.
Hold on, I
explained.
got that.
It's
Let
explained.
me finish. Let me finish, Kanye. It never really explained like what happened, what he was doing, where he was. How did those tapes just magically get to anybody, and they just washed up on the shore, and somebody, you know what I mean? Like, that part was a missing link for me. And the other part that really bothered me is that I understand you just found out that this is your brother. You can pretty much notice that he and May have some sexual tension. And now the two, you hooking up with your brother's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, in front of him, just shamelessly. And you don't have any kind of fucking loyalty. That shit bothered me beyond everything I know. And it was so rude and disrespectful to the character of Kate. And I understand what you said about her, like she was cheating at the beginning with her little, on her little girlfriend. That's different than like finding out this is your brother, who, admittedly, you just met. You don't really have a connection to him, but you don't have to be a dick. So that's part of the reason why, I can't give this a binge worthy, because that is just some poor writing and disrespectful to the character of Kate.
Maybe that's who Kate is. Maybe
She could be.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I thought.
She's her daddy's daughter.
She's her daddy's daughter.
Yeah, I don't know. But I did appreciate the fact that they did not leave us hanging, explaining like what happened to Keiko, that she didn't just get eaten by those monsters. Although I don't understand how she didn't get eaten by those monsters, because they snapped her up and dragged her back down, and nobody wanted to have a nip. She still got both arms and both legs. Like, that was a little problematic for me. But yeah, otherwise, I thought the story was really solid. I really liked what they did. I thought it was very clever, the use of Monarch, and most of the characters, other than I really hated May. I wanted her to die.
So Ricardo, what about you, man? How'd you feel the writing attribute to your overall rating?
I actually second almost everything that Courtney just said. It's easy to find a lot of places that you can go in and nitpick some things. I didn't have a problem with her kind of hooking up with May. Yes, it is disrespectful. However, she had zero connection to Kintaro for real.
She
And if the fact, yeah,
it's not.
and I think
really.
I think the whole time she wondered, because they never really said which one of them was older. I'm guessing that Kintaro's older.
No, she is. They said that. They said that she was the older one.
She was the older one?
Yeah, he was married
'cause
to her mom when he met Kentaro's mom in the hospital
at
when Lee came back.
okay. Yeah, see, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, she acted like she was the older one, so but I mean, women are usually, same age but act older than guys anyway, so but I didn't know. Um but yeah, she had no kind of connection to him for real, except for the adventure that they were going on. That drew them closer. Um, so to explain the Bill Randa thing, and I don't know. So at the very beginning of the show, they showed Bill Randa, John Goodman on Skull Island. So, and that's one of those things that you have to go back and actually watch the movie Kong Skull Island. On Kong Skull Island, he gets attacked by, whatever that little monster is, and then the giant spider that was chasing him or whatever.
Motu.
Wait,
gets
was
the
it
cliff.
John Goodman on Skull
Yeah.
Island?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And he plays Bill Randa?
Mm-hmm.
he's Bill Randa.
Because I don't remember Skull Island.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember Tom
so
Hiddleston was
before.
in that movie. That was about it.
Yeah, so he was a scientist that was on the island with them.
Yeah.
And
he gets
the
killed.
problem was he gets killed. He gets eaten by a skullcrawler. Like there ain't no two ways about it. He gets eaten by a skullcrawler on Kong Skull Island. So he's
there.
1973. He's out of there. But whatever that happened, if Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Hiddleston are already on this island or not on this island, he throws the bag off into the sea because he thinks it's it. He's going to throw all his research, what he's found, off into the sea. Then they show a later scene, a current scene, I guess, 2015 or
that was
or
the
not
callback
2015.
scene when he was in the that was the tag scene when they're in that secret room in the office and they I remember now.
Well, they showed a scene where, and it didn't say when it happened, but it seemed like it was more modern, definitely than 1973. But that some Japanese fishermen picked it up when they were out fishing, and they had the huge nets full of stuff. They're like, what the hell is this? And they just threw it on the deck and kept it moving or whatever.
Yes.
And it somehow made its way back to
Apex.
Tim
APC.
and Hiroshi or whatever. So because I guess Hiroshi is the one who had it and held it. It was returned to him because it had his name on it, Randa or whatever. So it was returned to Hiroshi, and he hid it because he's like, yeah, Monarch can't get this or whatever. And that probably built into the resentment that he had toward his
answer
father.
for me. I didn't even think I didn't remember that John Goodman was in Skull Island. Okay,
and that's why they showed him. That's why they showed him in the very beginning.
Was that from the movie, or do you think they shot this new for this series?
That scene. No, that scene is new. So that scene in Monarch is new. That's not
them
in the
picking
movie.
it up, but him throwing it in the ocean, that is from the movie. Didn't he throw it in the ocean in the movie? I thought he threw it in the ocean in the movie. Okay.
No, because remember in that scene in Monarch, he was completely alone. And everything that we saw of him on Kong Skull Island, he was with a crew of people the whole time.
That's true. Brie Larson was in that movie too, right?
Was she?
Sure. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I think she was.
She might have been.
Yes, technically, Rodney, yeah. See? Okay. It's coming back to me now. Now that you brought it up.
Courtney, I remember Samuel L. Jackson is out of his rabbit ass mind.
That's all I remember from that whole movie.
He was crazy as hell.
I forgot that Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson were in that movie together.
Tom Hiddleston had a whole Indiana Jones, Jason Bourne thing going on, and then Bill Goodman as a scientist, running around. And I thought that was she was a reporter, that was hanging all off of Tom Hiddleston. Yep.
That's right. That's right.
So Chuck, what about you, man? Any plots or subplots that stood out for you in these 10 episodes?
Just the story about the monsters, like it started putting sense together of how they're weaving in. You understand? There's like 38 different Godzilla movies. People don't understand. There's a bunch of them, and they're all different variations of Godzilla, and it's all still the same monster. They still hold them as the same monster. So them being able to tie this story and reaching the past and reaching to technically the future because we come back 2 years later from when they actually shot this, when this show was really going on. It made sense to tie it all together to both the Japanese legacy of the show and of the movies and the American legacy of the show, the movies. And even there's intertwining movies from Japan that never made it here that are about the American monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really
Oh.
curious on who they're going to lean on to build their Godzilla personality. Because we know Godzilla is aware and has a conscience.
Okay. So we know this is a story about Titans and Kaiju, but some actors in it. So we're gonna start with you, Rikai. What you think about the acting for the series?
I I thought the acting was balanced. And I only say that because all of the flashback scenes with Kurt Russell can do no wrong. Like Kurt Russell is Kurt Russell. So I was like, look at Snake Plissken just running around on this island. That's Jack Burton
I'm about to
running
say
all
Jack
around on this
Burton,
island.
baby, Jack
Yes,
Burton.
Jack Burton looking for the Pork Chop Express. I was like, Kurt Russell can do no wrong. Like he was magnificent every time he was on the stage. But who really stole the show for me is what's her name? Yamamoto, the old girl who played Keiko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listen, listen,
Yo.
she ate and left no crumbs every
Yes.
time she was on the screen. Like I loved everything about her. And I was like, she can't be a new actress because she
So
is killing it.
Killing
in
it.
the
Killing it.
chat, Mark said the woman portrayed Keiko like her rent was due.
Listen, listen,
Facts.
She was
Facts.
listen,
true. She was
Facts.
clutch, man. She slayed
listen.
every single scene.
Mm-hmm.
She went into this
Everything
and
she
and paid her
did.
rent for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
She's like,
Listen,
this
listen, her
show
rent
everything
can't
is
get
she
paid up.
did.
canceled.
Like when she met Kate and realized who Kate was,
Ah,
that
that right
moment
there.
was, I mean, it just gave me chills. And when
Mm-hmm.
she was like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, I'm not going back. I can't go back. Like I don't there's nothing for me there." Like I felt her. I felt everything she was feeling. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like it was when she realized how much time had passed, when he was hiding behind the tree and he didn't want to come out and show her. Then I was
Oh, that
mad. I
was
was like,
so good.
dang, you were on that island the whole time, even though you were only there for like a few days, and it turned out to be like 20 years. Y'all were on the island and you just didn't know she was still alive. I felt everything.
Yeah.
There, that's the
And then
general.
the
Rodney. Oh, go ahead, Rikai. Go ahead.
and then okay, so then you flip it, right? And then and I do want to say too, Anders Holm, who played young Bill Randa, he wasn't as good as Keiko, definitely not as good as Kurt Russell, but he held his own, especially from his background. He is a comedic actor, and everything I've seen him in has been straight comedy, like almost some of that kind of straight to DVD type comedy. Um, uh, he was in that movie. What was it? Game Over,
Mm-hmm.
with Adam Devine,
And
and
Vine.
yeah, like what was that show they had, like Workaholics or something like that?
Workaholics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Workaholics. That was my show.
Workaholics was
Yeah, that's
hilarious. I thought.
It
that's
was
him.
hilarious. That's
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
very
so that's him. That's where he comes from, like damn near jackass background. So to do all kind of, he played it very serious and very straight, you know. Um, he held his own, and I guess sometimes when you're forced into that situation, you get with strong actors, it brings out something in you. Now you flip to the current people.
young
Not so
actors.
much. Not so much. You know what I'm saying? So we have Wyatt Russell, who is perfect to play his daddy. They even did something so perfect on one scene where they were showing like an old clip, a video of him on a projector, and Kurt Russell stepped into it and they put his son's face over his. I said, boy, they just out here just
Yeah.
doing all that. Look, who is the
Yeah. That was a
cinematographer?
great
Because
moment.
he
That was a good
gets
moment.
he gets the clap for that right there. That was a great scene, great angle. And
Mhm.
they did have some great angles in this. Uh, as as much as I love Kate, I hate Kate. Kate is just not a strong actress. She's pretty as hell. She was not strong, and I don't know, just her at different times, her and Kentaro got on my nerves so much. And even May, I've seen her in so many things now. First being aware of
Kirstie
her when
Clemens,
she
right?
popped on
That's
the
who that
scene.
is.
Yeah, Kirstie Clemens when she came on in Dope. Uh, dude, like she got on my nerves too with all her super secretive bullshit.
Yo,
Like
no,
I just like them three. The current the modern scenes of 2015 wore me the hell out. I was like, listen, can we get back to the past? Show because not only that, I enjoyed them finding the Frostbark with old Lee Shaw, right? With Kurt Russell. Um, but beyond that, I was really looking forward to the flashbacks, the past shows, because that's when you had a time for the two people, Randa and Keiko, who are the heads of Monarch, to discover all these Titans. That was where, the adventure, the real Indiana Jones of it.
They're
They
riding
on
the Jeep
adventures to
into
this. Yeah.
yeah, I
the
could have
jungle.
had them. I could have had just an episode, like a season, a whole prequel season of just them building Monarch.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
could have had that. If this was an anthology series and you
Mm-hmm.
start from there and then flash like season 2, you do this like transition. I could have lived with that too.
I think I don't think it was just the acting of the young actors. It was how they were written. I think it was
I mean,
somebody
I can
like
agree to
us,
that.
somebody older than us, said, "What are these young kids like? They're all emo whippersnappers, and they stuck in their tiki talks." And they wrote them like that. They
I
Don't
kind
don't.
ever say that again. Don't ever say
they
that
they,
again.
they
Oh
stuck
my
in their tiki
god.
talks,
He said
and
the Tiki Talks.
and and I felt as though like Quesos had PTSD. And they gave us a couple of scenes on G Day
Oh,
where that clicks in. They only gave us like 3 or 4 scenes of that. And she should be effed up. It's like when we see PTSD on screen, it's usually of a soldier and it's a flashback, and he has a gun to his wife's head or to his baby, or he's cutting the chicken, stabbing the chicken
Not
in the kitchen.
always. What,
Man,
Chuck?
yes.
kind of
Have you
movies you
watched a
watching,
lot of
huh?
I
have
know, right?
man,
You're talking
I
about
watch a lot
soldiers.
more.
That's
Watch a lot
different.
of
You're right. You PTSD hits everybody different. That you're talking about
I
soldiers.
I agree. I agree.
She's
But they
not a
don't
soldier.
but she's not. They didn't express her PTSD that well.
You
That's
don't
what I'm
think in
Well,
her
saying.
in the cave
hold on.
when she was let me
That's later in the season. That's after the fact
right.
I already hate her. I don't went
No,
6 episodes
when
hating
Wait.
her.
when they put when they were trying to kidnap her, when Monarch Tim and them were trying
Mm-hmm.
to kidnap her in
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo at first, and they put the hood over her head in a car and she lost it. When they went to the emergency bunker
Mm-hmm.
because they was playing with the thing and they said Godzilla was coming and she lost it. Right there, I mean, it wasn't
Understand.
often enough, but to explain her PTSD right there, I got it. I was
But
like,
it's funny,
Yeah.
that expressed it. But once they took the hood off, she was still, I'm Kate and I'm bossy and I gotta have it my way. She went back to like being a spoiled brat. It was like instantly. It was like,
uh,
oh, I'm scared and I'm nervous. Oh, now
Oh.
I'm in control again. You're gonna do what I say because I'm a
Well,
millennial. And yeah.
I don't think that. I
what's
mean,
wrong
listen,
with you?
you got like 52 minutes to tell this story, so we really don't have time for Kate to have a full blown like outside of these moments, because this is what I'm saying about like PTSD comes up in those panicked moments, those moments that put you back into that place where you were. And you got to imagine, this girl has already said that she has been through several like different therapeutic sessions, and that she has developed, she's got her techniques on like how to pull herself back. So I thought for me, like her expressions of her experience on the Golden Gate Bridge, I thought that was built into her character fairly well. I was okay with it just because I don't want to live in her trauma for 52 minutes. Like she's already whiny. So you don't want to make her so nauseatingly whiny that we lose compassion for what she went
No,
through.
I'm not
But
saying
in
make.
terms of no. Yeah. No, but in terms of acting
Mm-hmm.
for the young people, like again, I agree with everything you guys said about Keiko, about Bill Randa, about Lee Shaw, Young Lee, and Kurt Russell, hands down. And I really like the annoying guy who worked for Monarch, who him
Mm-hmm.
and his like
Tim.
Yeah.
Russian Russian,
And
like,
Michelle.
Terminator.
Uh-huh.
Yo, loved
Michelle.
all of them. Loved them. They were great. The French girl, she was French. She wasn't
Yeah.
Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in
Michelle.
terms of like the three, like I don't necessarily think that it was the writing per se, as they all had the same temperament. They were all on the same frequency.
They made them
Nobody stood
brats.
out. No, nobody was individual. They all had the same shadow. Every single one of them were the exact same character. And maybe to your point, maybe that is the writing.
That's the
but
writing.
like it
Oh, yeah.
I think they also fed as actors, they fed off of each other's energy. They stayed on the same wavelength as each other, and nobody challenged each other to raise their game. Nobody came like, you know what I mean? It's a tennis match. Every single scene is a tennis match. Like you can either be like a B level like 6th grade tennis player, or you can be out there slaying like Serena versus Venus. Like every single scene, like, and that's what Keiko was doing. Keiko, like you said, she ate and left no crumbs. She showed up like Serena Williams at motherfucking Wimbledon. Okay, she came to win the Grand Slam.
But the
These
writing,
kids, they like 7th grade.
but I think the writing and the directing, they told them to brood over each other, to have angst towards each other, and to feel like they're all emo. I think that was direction and that was the writing on them. Because you got to think, Kate and Kentaro hated each other.
They did
Because they were kin, because their daddy was out here holding 2 families, even
Papa
though
was
they
a
were
Rolling
searching
Stone.
for their daddy. It was like,
the mom.
They looked at each
Kentaro's
other like they're the
mom.
ops. They looked at each other like they're the ops. Like, you're the ops. You're the
Kentaro's
ops.
mom came through. She was the only part of 2015 who came to play. When she finally saw her dad, when she finally saw Hiroshi, she was like, "Take care, good luck and good night.
Yep.
I want to make sure you have a relationship with your son. Give me them keys." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not for you to hit the bricks, my friend.
She gave him back the ring.
Yeah, that's it. Gave him back the ring and was like, "Go on and hit the bricks." Like, but make sure you call your son. Let him know where you land. Get the fuck out.
But I think
I respected her.
I think they wrote it like, Kate, you can't like your brother. Kentaro, you can't like your sister. And because y'all are brother and sister, you just found out and you're looking for your dad, but you hate each other. You both the ops. And then Kentaro, you're still in love with your ex May, and you see your now newfound sister is hitting on your ex-girlfriend, the girl you love. And so you hate her even more. And so when y'all act together, y'all have this hate towards each other. So it's like brooding angst, sexual angst, and PTSD all mixed together. And they
Randy, I
pop
feel like you
out
have
of
some
it.
thoughts. Randy, go on and jump in. I
agree
feel
with
like
you.
you are a comedy, right? Your face is saying so much, and I want to know
No,
what
he's
you're
he's
thinking.
making me laugh, but I actually agree with him to a degree. I agree with him to a degree that the writing, I felt like that was the way they were instructed to play the parts. And they didn't necessarily have the skill to sort of elevate their performance the way you're talking about, Courtney. So you take middle of the line actors with poor direction, and this is what you get as a result. I didn't hate it. I just thought, maybe we could have.
Well, I
Well, it's
mean,
just
I
the
hated
scenes that they
Kirstie
were are
Clemens.
the
I did too. I hated
She
it
was
too.
like lumpy
Oh,
oatmeal
I was
that
like,
could
throw
not
her
be warmed
away.
up.
Throw her away.
It was like it was overnight oats.
I was like,
It
please
was
let a
just
kaiju
like
eat her. Please let a kaiju eat
I
her.
was like, please. When she almost died in the frost,
Yeah,
I was like,
yes.
I was like, don't warm her up. Don't warm her up. Just let her go.
I was hoping the frost bars would come out and just eat her.
Just
I
eat
was
her.
amped.
You know what
Like,
I mean?
eat her
Like
ass.
I would have rather had the pilot. Save the pilot and let
Yes,
her go.
because he was
You know what I'm
killing
saying?
it.
he was cool.
it.
He was
killed
so
it.
funny. Loved him.
Killed it.
But
He killed it.
I don't know what it is. It's like I feel like it's this syndrome
They
where they don't know
those
how to be fantastical. They don't know how to be alive in a fantastic setting because it's not real. Do you know what I mean? And like Kirstie Clemens literally just stood there and was like, I don't understand Kentaro. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't
Like, I'm
wanna
mad
go.
at you.
Like,
You ruined my money.
But
That's
right.
my
But
girl.
like
I don't know what y'all talking about, man.
listen, she just was. But I like her. I like her. I just didn't like her in this role. I don't know what happened, but I want her to get fixed for next season. I don't know if she needs a hug. I don't know
Kill her.
if she needs a pay raise. I don't know, but I hope she finds it.
She need to
But
rub
in
one out.
terms of
That's what she needs.
Just to rub one out.
yo, stop. No,
Hey,
I'm not
we
doing
ain't gonna
that.
top it over there
Anyways,
though.
so that's
Listen,
disrespectful. I'm not doing that. But in terms of Kentaro, and I think I may have answered my own question. You know how I said I hated the fact that like Kate played her brother. I think I agree and disagree with you, Chuck. In terms of like them, like they hate each other. These are two, you gotta remember, these are two only children. And
Yeah.
as they probably always wanted to have a sibling. So it's that push-pull. Like I hate you exist, but I'm also really kind of glad you here, but I'm not gonna tell you I'm glad you're here. Like, cause they fought for each other. Like they really did. They came through. Like, I'm not gonna leave her. I need my sister back. Like, I need my brother back. Like, Kentaro, like that's the first people they were looking for were each other. I mean,
agree.
you know, so I think there is a little bit of that push pull. But I also realized something in listening to y'all. I don't think Kentaro ever actually told Kate that he and May had been in a relationship. I don't think that
I
she
think they
ever
did,
really.
didn't he?
No,
Mm-mm.
he just took
didn't.
her to Kate. He took her to May. I was like, I know someone who can
That's true.
help us with these videotapes. So I don't know that she ever actually knew.
I
And
don't
On
know.
top of the
Kate
fact
was
Kentaro,
that
kind of dirt
May
macking.
May
was
May hit him off with disgust from the moment that Kate met her. Like May hit
yes,
him off like, the hell you doing here? Like not even like we were a thing. She hit him off with,
Then she dirty macked
nah,
on
bruh.
his sister.
but she actually acted like there. I mean, she was giving no vibes. There was like death. There was death, like pure bone. Like I don't. It was. I take that back. It was indifference. It was, and that's worse than hatred. Indifference is like, yo, they just knew each other and had a falling out. Maybe Kate didn't know they had a relationship, but the way Kentaro was brooding over her, you know, and he never said anything. He just sat there watching, knowing that they about to hook up, knowing that they about to screw. And you didn't say, he hadn't said anything. So I guess you can't be mad at her when he didn't stand
I
up.
thought that the writing for these three was that it was almost the same. It was like they were three sides of the same person. And none of them brought something like you would expect if you start looking at tropes when they cast characters or whatever. It's almost like these three characters brought the exact same things to the table. And it's like one of them should have been humorous, one, even
That's what I
snarky,
said.
even like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
Yeah, they were
one
each
should
other's
have brought
shadow.
something. Yeah, and it's just like none of them brought anything different to the table. And Courtney did say it to make themselves stand apart so that they weren't.
They were the same character.
We got three of the exact same character
we
running
got three
around
of the
each
exact
other.
same characters.
So
And
that's
then
writing and direction.
nothing about that character
And
was
that's writing.
interesting.
That's
Yeah.
writing and direction. Okay.
You got the three characters, the same character, three different times in three different ethnicities and genders, and they all boring.
Thank
You're
you
right.
guys.
You're right.
Thank you guys.
All right, guys, let's re-rate this thing. So, Chuck, we're gonna start with you. How you
Somebody in
gonna
the
re-rate
chat.
I said, Mark said, I thought Kate put it together that they dated. I thought they did too, Mark. I mean,
I don't think.
but she may not have. I mean, May may not have put that together at all. I mean, Kate may not put that together at all because those three were self-absorbed. Those three were self-absorbed. I mean, Kate was banging out some other chick when her girlfriend gave her the key to let her know that she didn't really want to be with her.
Mr. Bam, re-rate it, please.
Re-rate it. It's still staying a full meal. I want to make it a binge out. Matter of fact, I'll move it to a binge out because I love monsters. I'm moving it up. I'm moving it up. Because Keiko killed it, and I want more Keiko.
All right.
Courtney, I want her to beat her grandchildren's ass. That's what I want to see. Beat some personality into them. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. She takes them on adventures because they're two stuck up, spoiled little brat kids in their TikTok, and she takes them outside for the first time. That's what I want to see.
The TikTok, Twitter paid it, and the Twitter paid it.
Twitter paid it. They on their books of faces. Their books of faces. You know.
Courtney, what about you? How you gonna re-rate it, man?
I'm going up to a binge out because I was always on the fence. And I talked through my main plot holes that I hated. And now that I have clarification, I really loved this show. I as angry as they made me, the kids, they made me angry as hell. But that's the mark of a good show. Even if like I wanted to strangle some people for lack of emotion, um it's still, they did everything else from the kaiju to the Kate Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, like all of the flashback, just like the ingenuity. I feel like the writer like really crafted the world, and unfortunately just like missed the mark a little bit on creating the same three children. But I can't take that away from the fact that this was a really strong show. So yeah, I'm gonna go with BingeWorthy. Hopefully, Peter Pan finds his shadow and three different.
I enjoyed the show, and I enjoyed it a lot. I just didn't think it rose to the occasion of a full binge out. So I'm gonna stick with my 4 mil. Rakai, what about you? How you gonna rate it?
When I first sent in my rating to Rodney, I was going to give it a full binge out, but I did have some slight reservations, but I knew that in us talking through them, I was like, cause, it just reminded me of how much I did absolutely love this show. I love what they presented. I loved all the new monsters and the new addition to the lore. I love the fact that we covered a 2-year time period. And now that there's room to give us so much more in a build-in, we got a whole new corporation in the mix with Apex. We show up on Skull Island, and listen, there's so many places to go. Like I said, we all just said extensively, about the young actors, so I mean, hopefully they'll find some personalities, some spines, something, and not being so whiny in the next season. But I really did love this show, and I would recommend it, especially to people who are big time lovers of Godzilla. So it's a full binge out for me.
All right. And in the chat, Mark is saying I'm binging anything that's Godzilla. So we're gonna add his score into the mix. All right. And so
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
So with including Mark's score, that gives us a 4.8. So we'll round it up, and it's a full binge out
Nice.
for Monarch.
And I get to see more Anna Sawai.
Cool. Rakai, you got anything to say before we head out, sir?
No, man, I thought this was excellent, man, and it was nice to really get another show in here that we loved. And I'm looking forward to our discussion next week, actually.
We're doing what? Percy Jackson, right?
Percy Jackson. I'm very interested to see where that's going to go. So,
yeah. All right. Cool. Courtney, got anything to say before we head out, man?
Not today. Hello.
You know how to say about Percy
throwback
Jackson?
to Echo last week. No, I don't have anything. I don't have anything to say. That's like my favorite phrase of the year. I can't not say it.
Not today, Nahalo.
Even though there's no Nahalos on our show today. But
that was great though.
Not today, Nahalo.
Chuck, what about you, sir? You got anything to say before we head out?
I'm with Rakai. I'm excited about doing Percy Jackson. I watched the first episode when it first came out, so I'm excited about binging it. Okay. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully Disney Plus comes with a great show. I'm hoping that's not animated. Because their great shows have been animated. So hard, I like a great live action show. Disney Plus has disappointed me thoroughly with live action shows.
Courtney look like she about to fall on her chair. She's holding it back so much.
She's rocking like an old black woman.
Save it to next week. Don't say anything.
Mm-hmm. All I'm gonna say is I have read every single book in the Percy Jackson series.
Okay. Good. Cool.
Okay.
Shouts out to
listen, Courtney about to watch this show like, something like your old language arts teacher. She get out that red pen. I'm getting ready to go in.
Shh.
Oh
People
God.
got to tune
made-
in to next week. Shh. No more. You'll tune in next week and find out what our ratings are. Shouts out to Digital Click. They provide all our marketing and promotional needs and all of the overlays and everything for us. Shouts out to Rodney, who is our technical director, the best technical director online. And shouts out to you out there in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Mark, thank you for contributing. We appreciate your rating, too. The Geekish Network, we are the premier BIPOC network on the internet, right? Black, indigenous people of color. We do this for people who look like you. We've got amazing people. We had amazing people in front of the camera and behind the camera and writing and producing, directing, speaking, all of that rolled into one. So please support us. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitch. Hit that subscribe button. Give us those thumbs up too. That's how we know that you enjoy what we are doing. So, as everybody's eloquently said, next week we're going to be doing Percy Jackson. So tune in next week to hear our thoughts on that. And until then, we'll talk to you guys
Bye,
later.
Rakai.
Peace. Where'd Rakai go? Yeah, he disappeared.
He disappeared.
He was so
He was
excited.
like-
He's like,
He was like 2 fingers.
I'm out.
like, wrap this shit up. Let's get it. All
He's
right,
like, I'm
there you
out.
go.
He's like, I'm out.
Less words. Say less. Say less.
He's like, I'm say less. I'm done. Leaving now.
Cool. I don't know, Rod.